Hello, today is Tuesday, April 14th. Welcome to Good Morning Santa Paula, brought to you by KADY TV. I'm Ron Merson here with Peggy Kelly of the Mighty Santa Paula Times. And just checking in, Peggy, if you don't mind, would you tell us what the latest is with the county and what's
Uh,
going on?
well, they announced today, Dr. Robert Levin, the county chief health officer, announced today, or somebody announced today, I'd have to look at my notes, that they are going to extend the stay-at-home order, though, till May 15th. So that's a full month. And I know that part of the reason why they're doing that is because it has been so successful as far as keeping the numbers, at least in Ventura County, of the COVID-19 infections down, even though Rigo Vargas, who's the head of public health, said that they were expecting, though, to announce more cases, that there was, and of course, as we get more testing done, we have more cases. But as of now, the death toll was still 10, and that's very unfortunate. But it hasn't moved. Santa Paula still has 4 cases, and I believe I mentioned there's 317 cases countywide as we speak. They'll be out with a new number at any time.
Right. So May 15th is the new stay-at-home day.
Yes, that's what it looks like. Yes,
Yeah.
what they're saying. I think it's going to be a month. And I think the reasoning behind that is that, they say that you've got a 14-day, if you've been exposed or you have it, you have to stay in 14 days. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, and I shouldn't speculate, but maybe what they figure they're going to do is they'll see how many cases they have in the next 4 days. And then they can figure, okay, if they taper off and taper off and taper off, and then thereafter, if they don't have any new cases in 14 days, see, that would be 2 incubation periods before people would show signs of having it, even though.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're back, of course, to the thing.
I was thinking the same thing. 2 cycles. They got to have 2 cycles.
Yeah, 2 cycles.
They need 2 cycles to say they're clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
So, I'm kind of wondering, if we're going to be closed another month, what about these businesses and so on? I mean, there's a lot of them out there suffering. I don't know what the answers are.
I know it's sad. I know that, they have rolled out these different programs, but now there's talk that some of these programs that they're not kicking in the way they should be. I know people are supposed to be getting stimulus checks, and one lucky gentleman got an 8.2 million one today. And no, he did not win the lottery, but they took it right out of his bank account. So so I would say, just judging from that, there might be some glitches in that, but at least they're coming out on those personal subsidies, and so hopefully that things are always a little problematic when they roll out, but there's a lot of confusion about the paycheck program as far as the loan program, and they're trying to streamline that, and they just have to, the nation's never faced anything like this.
Right.
So it's a matter of just trying to do what you can with what you have, but people need help in a hurry. So
I mean,
it's tough out there.
Yeah, there's got to be some people that aren't, that are hourly employees that aren't getting paid and sitting at home, but the bills are still rolling in. And I've heard from some people that food prices are kind of going up because some of them are getting in short supply. That's kind of.
They better not go up too much, because then they could be accused of price gouging.
Right.
Anything over 10% could be, but in turn, they're probably getting these big upswings in cost from their suppliers. So it's a matter of just going back through and see who's reporting this or doing that.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of food, though, at least the panic's over. At least it seems to be. Mm-hmm. And people have kind of gotten sadly acclimated to the fact that they have to stay home. They've shopped. They know now. We've got a lot of sensible people in Ventura County, and they realize that they have to be careful. And by them being careful, they're helping other people as well as themselves. So, the whole county, everybody who's exposed to the situation, if not the disease itself, deserves a lot of credit for trying to pull together and do whatever we can to take care of this.
Well, that kind of leads into, if people are at home but they're helping each other, what are some of the things that you're hearing that are going on around town, or what's helping to, help people to keep the morale up, and activities that are available?
Well, for the most part, I think with people, they've got the ones with families. That's certainly that's going to keep them busy, even more busy now
Right.
because they've got them around. They do have the school district has gone ahead and is doing the at-home learning, and I think they might be off this week though for Easter break, but I'm not sure for spring
Correct.
break. But so, and I think that families, or hopefully they're going to be forging a new bond and a new closeness. I still, like all of us, worry about young children, and this is so different for them, and it might be frightening. And I think it was a wonderful though that the school district has now gone ahead and I saw some videos where they're sending greetings from teachers to the students, so that's really wonderful. So anything they can do to keep the kids engaged is wonderful. So, but I think that people are there's an awful lot of TV out there, and there's a lot of cable stations that don't really cost anything, and I think people are, and hopefully they're reading books. Hopefully they're reading books and doing puzzles and just doing whatever they can, and when all else fails, sleep.
You know, speaking about the school kids, just for parents or anyone that's interested, if they go to KADY TV and look at the last school board meeting, there is a very nice report there by Schifferly, the assistant superintendent, about what's going on, what they call phase 3, and taking the education out to the homes. It's not, I couldn't explain it. I mean, that was about a 20-minute presentation. So
Sure.
if people want to get on, find out what the school's got planned and what's heading their way, next week, I believe, is when it's going to roll out that the students are going to be doing lessons and so on. And there's a lot of information in there, and the teachers are going to be contacting the students. They're going to have office hours, those kind of things.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because they're not going back to school until September is what
No.
we're gathering. So
no, they will not. They will not. So but and then of course a higher up, what are you going to do? I think a lot of them might just do pass or fail in the upper grades. I mean, they just really, this whole thing has just thrown a monkey wrench into everything, and it's just a matter, and they'll get it figured out what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And I would really hope that students are keeping their minds busy, that everybody's keeping their minds busy, because that's just as good as book learning to a certain extent. Is just read, keep your mind busy, keep active. And we've got a whole generation that now are going to be affected by this in many ways.
Yeah.
And the one thing we don't want them to be is too affected is intellectually. So we've got to,
they're working at that. Some of the places, the library's got some crafts and some different things. If you check in there with the library, the Park and Rec department has some things that are going on. I notice there's a lot of people. Yoga seems to be the thing right now. There's a lot of videos about yoga and so on.
It's supposed to be very relaxing yoga.
One of the things that I'll just say about, the Optimist Club, they've got a project they're getting ready to roll out. We had a meeting, and I guess I could say it here, but they're going to announce shortly that there's going to be some information on Facebook Places and different sources. They're going to come up with an art contest, so the kids can do the artwork at home and then submit it to the Optimist Club. So that's kind of another project. So I mean, groups are doing those kinds of things around town to come up with ideas for kids and so on. So
And
did you
download is there something they're going to download, or they just depend on
they'll download the poster, but they're going to create the artwork on a theme from scratch, just whatever medium, whatever they want to do. I don't know what's going to happen. Let them use their imagination.
Let me know, and we'll put something in the paper so people know it's out there too.
We'll pass the word to you. The other thing is, about graduation. Did you hear what's going on about the signs around town? The graduates?
Yes, I have. Yes. I have
saw when there's
made some signs, and they put them up in front of their houses. And I know there's some professionally made signs, and we're trying to go ahead and do our grad tab. We've been talking to the school district about still doing the grad tab for the class of 2020, and just
what is the grad? What is that?
Grad tab is what we do. We put every single senior, graduating senior's picture in a tab formed, like a big magazine,
Oh, yeah.
They've got all their pictures and their names, and several students are highlighted, and the community wishes them well and congratulates them. So we're definitely looking into doing the grad tab. We figure it's the least we can do for the kids in the community.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, those signs are real good. There's one around the corner. I saw it at a neighbor's house. It's very colorful with, the colors, and it's like a campaign sign, it's about like
Yeah.
that, but it's very nice. It has a student's name on it, so it's pretty cool. It'd be nice to get a picture of that of somebody and put your name on it and put it in the paper or something.
Yeah. Well, I know that it will be fun to figure out what they are going to do, because I'm sure they are going to have a graduation for them, but it's just not going to come now,
Yeah. Well, is there anything else you think
if
that's
they
going?
wanted to maybe take their choice and still continue to stay home and get a graduation or whatever, they probably would say yes, they would like their graduation, but it'll just come later.
Yeah. The other one I saw on the news the other day is about the prom. And so, not having proms. And so the mothers are getting their daughter dressed up and standing, and people are driving by looking at her, just honking horns. That's a big deal now, too, the parades, for, the teachers and so on. So there's a lot of good stuff out there. I like what's going on, that people are working together, pulling together. So, and the thing I've been doing, and I'll share this, what do you do to keep up morale? Call your friends, somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time. Just call them up and say hi. And it turns out you all want to touch base with each other anyway. So, and you end up in long conversations because we're not in a rush to go anywhere.
Yeah, that's for sure. You have to use a timer. And then what you could do too is think about, maybe you've got some senior friends out there, and a lot of them are alone, and we should all be getting in touch with our senior friends and making sure they're okay. And also, if they want to talk a little bit, and just go ahead and do that. So, there's a lot of people helping other people. That's for sure.
Well, I think we get a lot of good information here for folks.
Yeah. So. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, we'll check back in a few more days. We keep getting reports. We keep hearing what's going on, and we'll just have to get back into the groove, and just start to hope that this, that everybody stays good for another month, and we just beat this thing down to the ground, and then we'll see what's going to happen thereafter. But I'm sure we'll come roaring back to a certain extent, because I think everybody's going to be so wanting to get out and wanting to do things and wanting to visit their friends, the merchants who have been unable to be open at this time, which is really, really bad. Everybody's got to go to all those takeout restaurants now, all of our mom and pop takeout restaurants in town. Most of them have food to go. I know La Cabana is going to open Friday for food and margaritas to go. So, so that'll be really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're all trying. They're all trying.
Well, thanks for the update, Peggy. And, take
Ron.
care of yourself. Stay safe. I know you're out there around, but be safe out there for us too, okay?
Yes, I shall. Well, that's okay. Listen, a lot of people run when they see me. So
you have a distance already. Bad, Wanda.
But great seeing you.